I went to visit my mother-in-law in the village to help her with the house and chores. She was very happy to see me and welcomed me warmly, showering me with kisses, feeding me hearty meals, and even offering me strong drinks. Clara's hospitality was overwhelming, and she made sure I immediately felt at home. She sent me to the sauna and groomed me persistently, making me feel like I was in a fairy tale. Of course, this fairy tale was accompanied by grueling work. My wife could not join me this time, as she was swamped with reports at work, and I had to get to my destination alone. My mother-in-law, Clara, is not at all what she is usually pictured as. She is only 2 decades older than me, and she manages to stay in great shape, despite the challenges of running a household alone. Life in the village has been hard for her. Ever since she lost her husband, she has had to bear all the burdens herself, from looking after the house to keeping things in order. Companionship seems a distant dream in a place where suitable men are few. Yet she endures it all with a resilience and determination that is hard not to admire. At first I cursed my vacation. The endless housework and the loneliness of being away from my wife depressed me. I worked tirelessly from dawn to dusk, mending fences, cleaning and chopping wood. Every night fatigue set in, and I found brief solace in unbroken sleep. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, Clara made my bed for me. When I entered the room, I noticed her folding the sheet neatly, her movements precise and deliberate. Maybe it was the drink we had earlier, or maybe it was the fact that I was suppressing the feeling of loneliness within me, but something inside me stirred. Without hesitation, I walked up behind her, wrapped my arms around her, and whispered something impulsive and reckless. To my amazement, Clara did not pull away. On the contrary, she froze for a moment before relaxing into my embrace. Her warmth and the intimacy of this moment shattered the unspoken boundaries between us. What followed was a night neither of us could have foreseen. A night that would forever change the dynamics of our relationship. We fell asleep, and when morning came, Clara was visibly distraught. She admonished me, reminding me of our familial bond and her role as my wife's mother. Her words were full of regret, but I countered them with my masculine logic, insisting that as long as my wife was not present, we were simply 2 consenting adults. She hesitated, torn between guilt and the undeniable bond we shared. Eventually she agreed, though the tension between us persisted as an unspoken truth. From that point on, the rest of my visit seemed surreal. Clara seemed lighter, as if a burden had been lifted from her shoulders. She laughed more easily and moved with newfound energy. Mornings began with her pouring me a drink, and our days were filled with an odd mixture of routine duties and subtle, stolen moments of intimacy. By late afternoon we were back in the sauna, no longer feeling ashamed or hesitant. The heat of the steam reflected our intimacy, and Clara, despite her initial protests, seemed content to let things happen naturally. As my vacation drew to a close, I noticed a change in Clara's demeanor. Her gaze became longer, filled with longing and melancholy. She subtly hinted that she hoped I would return, and her words contained both longing and recognition of our difficult situation. Although our actions seemed both wrong and insurmountable, the bond we formed was undeniable, defying logic and convention. Now, as I prepare to leave this idyllic yet complex chapter in the past and return to my daily life, I am riddled with conflicting emotions. Memories of my time with Clara are vivid, imprinted in my mind like a story I can't forget. I can't help but wonder what the future holds. Will it remain a fleeting moment of weakness, or will it develop into something deeper? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. Clara will wait, her heart caught between the past and the possibility of what could happen next. Translated with Deeple.com, free version.